So what we've looked at so far is when you are counting in thousands, but counting in thousands is a metric system. So we looked at kilobytes, megabytes. So we looked at 1,000 kilobytes and stuff like that. So when you count in thousand, that's fine, and that's probably the most common one you're going to use. But if you come across this system, it's important that you know what it means. So counting in thousand is fine, but what that's come about because we're trying to, as humans who use decimal and metrics, we're trying to represent the binary data system in a way that is more understandable to us humans. Okay. However, when you actually look, we know that the computer works with a base 2 number system. Okay, and the equivalent in binary is actually 1,024. So what that means is, inside the computer, they're actually stored in blocks of 1,024 of relevant things because it's a base 2 number system. If you keep going up, we know we've got 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1,024. So if you keep going up, the number 1,000 is actually stored within a 1,024 base 2 number. So anyway, don't worry about that too much, but just understand that in a binary number system, we don't really have groups of 1,000. We have groups of 1,024. So therefore, we've got these measurements. So if you've got K, a little I, and then a B, M, a little I, then a B, G, a little I, and then a B. It's very much like kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, but it's known as a KiB byte, a MiB byte, and a GiB byte. Instead of dividing by 1,000, it's 1,024. So 1,024 bytes is known as a KiB byte. 1,024 KiB bytes is known as a MeB byte. 1,024 MeB bytes is a GiB byte. Now that's useful to know, because it could try and throw you up in an exam question and refer to these instead. And it's just remembering that it's divided by 1,024 and not 1,000, because that's actually how is more representative of what's going on inside a computer. To try and explain where you've probably seen this, if you ever bought a hard drive, and what you've done is you've probably come home and you bought a 3 terabyte hard drive, and then you plug it in, and there's not 3 terabytes there, it's 2.6 or something like that. The reason is, if you divide by 1,000, not 1,024, it's going to make it look more favourable. So there's a sort of advertising system. It makes it look like there's more data than there is. There's other things on the hard drive, so there might be some hidden files and stuff, but essentially a big part of it is because it's not actually visually, it's 1,000. If you keep dividing by 1,000, I get why they said 3 terabytes, but actually it's like 2 point whatever terabytes, because inside the computer is actually working in blocks of 1,024, not 1,000. Okay.